Disney, they've heard you. Disney, they got a little blowback when they were caught on camera saying that they were pushing a not-so-secret gay agenda on your children. Disney got a little bit of pushback when they replaced Snow White with this woman in a new Snow White story who she emphatically, isn't Snow White. I call her sometimes like sand beige or something like that. But that's by far the least silly part of her casting. The silliest part of her casting is she hates the story. And she says, we don't want love. We don't want a Prince Charming. We don't want this. We don't want that. It's obviously so woke. It was obviously DEI. It was obviously, any kind of traditional. Traditional is bad. White is bad. Men are bad, though in that case, it's a female character being replaced by a female. But now we've got a better opportunity for Disney. They've heard you, so they're going to replace Johnny Depp with a black lady, according to reports. The lady is Ayo Edebiri. I'm not familiar with her work. She might be a fine actress. But one thing I can tell you is she's not the Johnny Depp character, because she's not a dude. and this would be for Pirates of the Caribbean 6. Her character is named Anne. So it's not an exact one-to-one of Captain Jack Sparrow. It's this new character named Anne, and it might be based off a real-life pirate named Anne Bonny, who was Irish. So what Disney's pushing back, and they're saying, look, we want to replace all the white guys with black ladies in the name of DEI, even if it doesn't serve the story, even if it doesn't make sense. But you racists and you sexists, you don't even understand. This is based on a real character, and the real character is a woman. Well, that's true, but the woman's Irish. And I don't think this is what Black Irish means. Have you ever heard that phrase, Black Irish? Black Irish is a term used among Irish Americans to explain why certain Irish people here have slightly darker features or dark hair or dark eyes. But it's totally made up. The myth around Black Irish is that some Spaniards landed in Ireland some centuries ago, and that's why some of them look a little bit more Mediterranean. But it doesn't appear to be backed up by any genetic analyses, so it's just a fake American kind of story. And in any case, Black Irish doesn't mean actual African people. Now you might say, well, Michael, who cares? Any person of any race, or some would say of any sex, should be able to play any character. I don't think that's true. Some characters, I think the race doesn't really matter. All characters, the sex usually matters, but some the race doesn't really matter. But that view was not the view of August Wilson, the leader of the modern American black theater. That wasn't the view of a whole lot of people in the history of theater. And it isn't the view of audiences. Some sexes are different, cultures are different. And every time that Disney does this, the movies are flops. But they don't really care. They feel that they have hegemony. So they're gonna serve it up, and doesn't matter. Go see it, don't go see it. The DEI leftist agenda continues apace. Right now, go to woketearswater.com. Seems like wokeism is everywhere. It's in the air we breathe, the news we watch, even in the water we drink. That is why Woke Tears bottled water, an American brand, is on a mission to save America from the brave new woke world, one sip at a time. Woke Tears Water is a legitimate brand of drinking water bottled right here in the U.S. by people who know what a woman is. Made from pure snowflake meltdowns, Woke Tears Water is making hydration great again. While everyone else's water is just water, Woke Tears provides a refreshing gulp of laughter in a world thirsty for sanity. If you want to try Woke Tears Water, visit woketearswater.com. Indulge today in laughter and hydration, two of the most important things in your life. Right now, go to woketearswater.com today. I love that this has clearly taken some inspiration from our famous Tumblr. Great, great thing to be sipping around the office. woketearswater.com. Now, speaking of women potentially replacing men, the Nevada presidential primary took place. Most people didn't pay attention to it because the Republican primary is effectively over and Trump is the nominee. But what was weird about Nevada is that Nevada had both a primary and a caucus. So in Nevada, it used to be that the nomination fight was settled in a caucus. And then in 2021, the legislature said, no, we're going to become a primary state, not a caucus state. But the GOP didn't like this. So the GOP has held firm to the caucus. They had a separate caucus. And they said that if you participate in the primary, you don't get to participate in the caucus. So even before all the other candidates dropped out, most of them were going to participate in the caucus. Nikki Haley was not. Nikki Haley said, no, I'm going to be in the primary. And so as a result, Trump, who is the last remaining serious candidate in the primary, he was not in the Nevada Republican presidential primary. He won the Nevada caucus, which is actually what's going to count toward the nomination. And Nikki Haley won the primary. Well, no, she didn't. She beat Mike Pence, who was still on the ballot, even though he dropped out. She beat Tim Scott, who was still on the ballot, even though he dropped out. She beat John Castro, who I've never heard of, even though he was still on the ballot. But she lost to none of these candidates. Nikki got about 33%, and none of these candidates got 60.4%. None of these candidates got almost twice as many votes as Nikki Haley. Not a good sign. Now, Nikki did not really campaign in Nevada. Obviously, she wasn't even taking the primary seriously. That's why she wasn't in the caucus. But it's embarrassing. It's not a good headline cycle. Now they're headed to South Carolina. And the problem with South Carolina is Trump is currently leading Nikki by at least 20 points. Depends which poll you look at, but maybe 30 points, maybe more. That's her home state. So as I've predicted for a while, Nikki is going to stay in this race. And she said it. She said, I'm not going anywhere. Keep donating. She's going to stay in this race to be the number 2 candidate, to be the clear number 2 once Trump gets the nomination. And then in 2028, she'll be able to claim, look, I was the last choice. If Trump loses, she can claim, hey, had you gone with me, maybe you would have won. And even if Trump wins, he's going to be term limited out. So she can say, look, I was the number 2 choice then, and she can make a credible run in 2028. And she can claim to represent the lane that she's picked, which is the more establishment, more centrist kind of lane in the GOP, which still represents a lot of voters. And she can say, I've got appeal to independents, and I've got appeal to suburban moms and all this kind of stuff. But one thing that is certain is that she will not be the Republican nominee in 2024. Now, another reason that Nikki Haley is running here is because, one, she's a talented politician, and she's managed to beat out all the other candidates in the field other than Trump. And two, because Biden seems so beatable. I think it was Peter Doocy who just asked White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre if she could maybe explain why Joe Biden thought that he had just met with the former president of France who died in 1996. Here is KJP's answer.
How is President Biden ever going to convince the 3/4 of voters who are worried about his physical and mental health that he is okay, even though in Las Vegas he told a story about recently talking to a French president who died in 1996?
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you,
What?
sir.
What is
We're
the
going
rabbit
to
hole?
go ahead.
He said
go
he
ahead.
talked to Mitterrand.
Go ahead. You saw the president in Vegas, in California. You've seen the president in South Carolina. You saw him in Michigan. I'll just leave it there.
What? Listen, I'm not even going to answer your question, which is the best answer she could give. There's no way to explain. The honest answer is because Joe Biden's obviously in decline and he's doing that thing that your grandparents all did just before they died, which is they confused people and they confused not just weeks and years, but they confused whole decades and epochs and they forgot who's alive and who's dead. That's the honest answer. So she can't say that. So she goes, I'm not even going to answer that question. And then he goes, what are you talking about? Your job is to answer the questions. Give it. And her the best she can muster is, look, you've seen the president, California, Alaska, Brazil, China. I had eggs for breakfast this morning. Look at my hand. Is that a butterfly? Gibbledy gobbledygook. Okay, next question. That's the best thing. She's just going to say words so that maybe if you put the TV on mute, it looks like she's answering the question, but her firm answer is, yeah, man, we got nothing. We've got nothing as it pertains to a rational debate over Joe Biden's case for reelection. We got nothing there. The best they're going to hope for is that they can keep rigging the elections with losing voter ID, with promoting widespread mail-in ballots, and with encouraging ballot harvesting. That's their only chance. And maybe they think it's a good chance and they don't think they have to answer to the people. What a great clip that was. Now, hey, come on, Jack. Come on, man. Corn Pop, ring that bell. We'll see you next time.